Tonight, even the cabinet secretary has a company that's supplying the BDF. We'll show you the proof. And also tonight, Team Belize senior men's volleyball team preparing to return home in glory. After decades of defeats, they are the Central American champions. We'll talk to team members. Plus, the brother of the tourist who touched a Jaguar put up a defiant post today, mocking Belizean authorities. And they're known as the toughest, most hard-nosed soldiers in the ranks. But tonight, you meet the first female to hold that rank in the BDF. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Thursday, July 16th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Electronic invoicing, e-invoicing, is bringing a secure digital upgrade to GST-registered businesses in Belize. Here is how the process works. Your business generates an electronic tax document, ETD, like your everyday invoice or receipt electronically. The ETD is securely transmitted to the Belize Tax Service through Vertex Belize, the national digital platform for e-invoicing. The Belize Tax Service validates it instantly and returns the verified ETD to your business, ready to share with your customer, all in seconds. There are 3 ways to get started. Connect your existing accounting software to Vertex Belize, work with a local or international solution provider, or access the free web-based tool to be provided by the Belize Tax Service. Getting started is flexible. For more information, contact the Belize Tax Service at 613-2508 or email etdinfo@bts.gov.bz. Electronic invoicing, simplifying tax compliance through digital innovation.
The way Belize uses electricity is changing. At home, families are using more devices, smarter appliances, and connected technology. Across the country, businesses are growing, industries are expanding, and communities are finding new ways to live, work, and move forward. Behind that progress, the energy system must continue to grow with Belize. At BEL, modernizing the grid is part of preparing for what comes next. A grid with greater visibility, more accurate information, and better tools to manage energy as needs change. Through investment in digital systems, upgraded infrastructure, and improved monitoring, BEL is strengthening how electricity is managed and delivered across the country. Not just for today's needs, but for the future Belize is building. As new technology emerges, from solar generation to community energy systems, the grid must be ready to support them safely, reliably, and sustainably. This is the work of modernization, step by step, system by system, community by community, helping prepare Belize for a more connected, resilient, and sustainable energy future.
Hello, everyone. Today we're putting Happy Bums baby diapers to the test. Just look at the beautiful design, strong, soft, and made for your baby's comfort. Happy Bums can absorb up to 500 milliliters of moisture. Let's compare it with a leading diaper brand. We'll pour 500 milliliters of water into each diaper and see how they perform. Now it's time for the tissue test. As you can see, Happy Bums stays dry to the touch, while the leading brand leaves noticeable moisture on the tissue. Choose Happy Bums baby diapers for reliable leak protection and all-day comfort. Look for Happy Bums baby diapers at a store near you. Distributed by Caribbean International Brewery Company Limited.
Rev up your engines at Puma Energy and get ready for an exciting chance to fuel, fill, and win. For every $30 purchase on fuel, a liter of lubricant, or $10 at Super 7, get a ticket to win one of 20 fuel prizes of $1,000. And here's the thrill. Fill up with premium Clean Tech Pro and double your chances of winning. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Head to Puma Energy and Super 7 today for your chance to fuel, fill, and win.
Altoona is one of the most visited Mayan city up until lately. The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. Not having the POS machine in the past, we have lost a lot of sales. Atlantic Bank helps supporting our business, giving us the opportunity to get the POS machine. Now with the POS machine, we are able to do more sales, and that will, also bring more, finance to our families.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Game 4 of the NABL Finals is heading back to Orange Walk this Friday night. And it is the final home game for the Orange Walk Running Rebels. And a must-win, as the Rebels don't want the Belize City Defenders to pop the champagne and celebrate with that 70K on their home court. So Rebels Nation, you need to come out in unprecedented numbers this Friday night, 9 p.m. at the Orange Walk Sporting Complex to ensure the series continues. Giveaways, the NABL Girls Plus more. It's Game 4 of the NABL Finals this Friday night. Will the Orange Walk Running Rebels force a Game 5? Or will the Defenders be the champs? Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7. Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Over the past few weeks, we've exposed a string of politically connected companies favored with multi-million-dollar BDF supply contracts. We've reported extensively on corporate clusters linked to former ministers Oscar Mira and Florencio Marin. But tonight, there is a new twist. Sources have pointed us to the RSL Group, a company linked directly to Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie. Formed in late 2025, the business lists Stuart Leslie and Roel Cabrera as principals, with 3 of their initials corresponding to the company name. The Ministry of Defense confirmed that RSL Group has been supplying a variety of seasonings to the BDF for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. While the monetary value appears small, it raises a major question. Was even the Cabinet Secretary getting in on the procurement action? Well, Leslie flatly denies any self-dealing. Speaking with us by phone, the CabSec stated the company is owned by a longtime family friend and that he was only asked to act as director. He maintains he hasn't earned $1 from the venture and had no knowledge of the bid to supply the BDF and never made a call to influence the bidding process. According to Leslie, the company followed standard procedures and submitted a bid. While they didn't win the primary contract, he says they were eventually called back to provide specific items. It's a historic milestone, decades in the making. Tonight, Belize's national men's volleyball team is celebrating a monumental victory after capturing gold at the Central American Final Four tournament in Costa Rica. For the first time in history, the regional championship trophy is coming home to Belize. And while these athletes had to train relentlessly to reach this pinnacle, they said that their biggest strength was their unity and cohesion. But is it the start of an era of dominance or just a flash in the pan? They're heading home tonight, and we'll know the answers soon. But Courtney Menzies spoke to a couple of team members via phone during their layover in Mexico City.
This was the moment when Belize's men's volleyball team made history by winning the Central American Final Four. It's a win that has taken them almost 2 decades, and according to the team's captain, unity is what made the difference this time.
And it's a overwhelming feeling. It's something that has long been in the waiting, and we're just super excited to be coming back home with this goal to Belize.
What do you think was the thing that made the difference this time around?
Well, the biggest thing this time around was we had our international guys home almost 2 months before the tournament, which helped us with our chemistry and unity. The past tournaments, usually the guys that were abroad in school or playing international, they would have just came and meet us where we're playing, and then we just start playing, and then it would have taken us 2 or 3 games to get our chemistry, you know. So this time around, we had everybody home, and all training was with all 14 players. Every night we were in training for 3 hours together, and we built the chemistry and the unity that we need to have reached the goal in this tournament.
And the long road to victory did not come without some humiliating bumps along the road, which Anderson reflected on.
I'm the player on the team that has been a part of the male national team the longest, over 15 plus years, almost 20 years. When I started, we were what they call the beatbox in Central America. Everybody wanted to play us, know that they would have beat us. My first tournament scores were 25-5, 25-7, 25-6. And then we grew, we stick with it. We kept on training. A couple tournaments over the past 5 to 10 years, we kept knocking on the door, second, but never first. But this tournament, we felt like this was ours because the training was there, the coaching staff was there, players had bought into what the coaches wanted, and like I said, it really paid off.
But those low scores at the start did not discourage them, and over the years, Anderson has had the privilege of training the players that contributed to this big win. A lot of the young players on the team, you brought up many of them, so how does it feel to see them being able to shine now?
Oh, well, that one gives me cold seat. That made me cry last night because some of these kids I started to train when they were 8, now they're 18, 19 years old. And to do it with them was such a tremendous, overwhelming feeling. They all cried. They all said, "Coach, thank you for everything. They love me. Thanks for believing in me." And so that really quelled my heart last night.
And aside from the win, emotions were high when Belize's own Francis Hawes was named MVP.
Well, it was a great feeling. At first, I was happy that we won, and then, of course, second, we got the awards with me and Karen. But it's always a good feeling getting rewarded for your hard work. I've put in a lot of work over the past 11 years. So I've been playing volleyball for the past 11 years. And now we finally get the goal that we wanted, and we got individual awards.
And now with this win, the team believes this is just the start of a dominant streak.
This tournament shows that we have the length on the bench to carry this first place a long way in Central America, and it also shows that we are really dominant. So we could last the next 10 years if we wanted to.
We believe that with this group, because this group is a mixture of old and a lot of youth, well, not old but veteran and a lot of youth, and the youths that we have on this team are very promising. Most of them are on scholarship in America, of which they're gaining more experience, and I believe this is the start of many to come. We plan to do little celebration, as a team, and we're hoping that the government or the sports council can do something for us. I believe they will have something planned for us. We are just waiting to see what's the next move when we reach Belize.
The team expects to arrive in Belize at 8 o'clock tonight. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
A motorcade will be held in Belize City to celebrate them tomorrow. It starts at 3 in the afternoon at the Marion Jones Complex and will head over the Balkan and Pang Yard bridges, past Albert Street, and then right back at the complex. Days after Victor and Reuben Stoll chased and harassed the mother jaguar and her cub in the Mountain Pine Ridge area, the former has taken to Facebook not to apologize but to defend himself. In a post today, he defiantly stated that he and his brother had not committed any crimes, although the Forest Department has indicated that they were in defiance of the Wildlife Act. In the post, he claims innocence by stating, quote, "My crime? Remaining seated on a passenger's seat and looking out at and videotaping a jaguar cub on the road. Reuben's crime was petting the cub as he escorted it off the road so he could safely leave as quickly as possible without risking hitting the adorable little jaglet. Obviously, he shouldn't have touched it. But in the few seconds we had with this amazing animal, we were so in shock that we didn't really know what was happening." End quote. Well, that's not quite a justification for petting the cub in distress and putting the cub in distress, but to add insult to injury, Stoll then continues by saying that police should be focused on other environmental issues, such as locals killing endangered or out-of-season animals. And while that is a crime under the law, so is molesting a jaguar, which is a species fully protected under the Act. But unfortunately, Stoll and his brother left before he could be legally penalized. In other news, 2 more foreign judges are bound for the High Court bench. 7 News has seen leaked official correspondence revealing that the Judicial and Legal Services Commission has recommended 2 new elevation appointments to the bench. According to a memorandum from Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie to the Leader of the Opposition, the Prime Minister is formally seeking the views of the Leader of the Opposition before advising the Governor-General on the appointments, as mandated by Section 97 of the Belize Constitution. The first recommended appointee is Ms. Shanisa Smith, whose tenure is set to take effect on September 1st, 2026. She is Guyanese. The second recommendation elevates Mr. Peter Carter to the bench effective September 15, 2026. He is Trinidadian. But 2 qualified Belizean applicants were not even shortlisted. Those applicants were Registrar Trinia Young and former Chief Magistrate Sharon Fraser. Today, the AG had a different spin. He said that despite the signed letter we have seen, no appointments have been made and the process is still ongoing. Here's how.
There has not been any formal appointment of any judges. So as part of the process, the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, they engage in their process. They're a separate body, separate from government, separate from any other entity. So they're the ones that does the reviewing of applications, reviewing of CVs, interviews, etc. They would make a recommendation with respect to whether who are the successful applicants. Once that recommendation is received, that recommendation is onward, is submitted to the Office of the Prime Minister. The Office of the Prime Minister would submit to the Leader of the Opposition to request, in this particular case, the Honourable Chase Panton, her views on the matter. As things currently stand, she has written to the government and she's requesting certain information. So the process is still ongoing and no final determination has been made on that matter as yet.
How long will that process take to complete, more or less?
That process continues. Obviously, consultation requires reasonable opportunity for, and this is what jurisprudence on this area suggests, that a reasonable opportunity for the opposition to receive her feedback, and if that is the case, for her to, make further inquiries. So the process is still ongoing, and so no formal decision has been made as yet.
From our experience, consultation in these cases simply means informing the Leader of the Opposition, who does not have veto power over appointments. The Attorney General's office is currently challenging the Ombudsman's recommendation that his office should disclose the information requested in Jerry Enriquez's Freedom of Information request. If that information is the cost of the top-tier attorneys the government retained to fight his injunction to block the elections before redistricting was completed. That case saw its first case management earlier this week, and today the AG defended the government's right to challenge a constitutional office, even if the office is currently vacant.
As with most case management, what would occur, the court would give timelines as it relates to the filing, and in this particular case, the court gave timeline for the filing of affidavit in response. So this is a appeal that was made by the Attorney General Ministry with respect to a decision that was taken by the Ombudsman. That decision, and I need to state this, and so that this, so as to disabuse persons from what has been actually said in the public. I know it has been said and much has been made of the fact that, well, how the state want to challenge a constitutional office. There's nothing. Well, first of all, the rule of law, that's a part of a constituent part of democracy. What that means simply is that every single office holder, whether it be the Prime Minister, whether it be the Ombudsman, whether it be a judge, that they must, in exercising their functions and duty, they must comply with the dictates of the law. And the purpose of us launching that review of the Ombudsman decision was so that the court could in fact indicate, which we believe wasn't the case, whether the Ombudsman actually operated fairly in coming to the decision that he came. We won't go into the specifics and the facts because the matter is before the court, but that is the essence and the rationale and the reason why the matter was challenged. Additionally, I need to point out that there's nothing new, there are precedents. So you've had, for instance, the state, the Attorney General, in two recent cases, they've actually challenged the decision of the Public Service Commission with respect to disciplinary actions, their decision with respect to disciplinary proceedings that have been taken against public officers. So, in summary, the challenge by the Attorney General or by the state of another constitutional office is nothing new. It's something that part of the process of a constitutional democracy, which all persons, all office holders are held to account, and their decision can be questioned and challenged in a court of law. The Ombudsman is accountable and responsible to Parliament, so that office can make a request through the clerk's office, the clerk of the National Assembly, for an attorney to represent the Ombudsman. So you don't necessarily need to have an office holder in place at this point in time.
And while that case is ongoing, the government has finally started to advertise a vacancy for the Ombudsman 6 months after the important post became vacant. The notice is available on the National Assembly's Facebook page. But what is the procedure now that the office is transforming into a human rights office? Sylvester said that it will be a 3-year-long process.
As I had explained on the last occasion, that is and was a commitment that was made by the government. Now, if you look at the vacancy indicates that it would be preferable if someone who's applying and the successful applicant would have knowledge and experience in that era. That MOU that was entered into with the Ombudsman Office and the European Union, it's a 3-year project. So the idea is that to have the new Ombudsman, whoever that person is, will have courage and will continue to work to ensure that that office, the National Institute of Human Rights, that will be set up properly. And so that is why the request is made in the vacancy for persons who are applying for the job, and it'd be preferable that a person has such experience and knowledge and be able to help with facilitating and accelerating the process. There will be a review of the current legislation, and I would imagine that there would be recommendations for amendments of the current legislation. That must take place to give effect to an NHRI to be implemented and to be established.
And aside from the case against the Ombudsman, the AG's office is also tackling several matters brought to the CCJ by Jerry Enriquez, including a new case in which Enriquez is suing the government for leaving the Ombudsman's office vacant. Here's what he said about those cases.
The redistricting matter, so Mr. Enriquez had made 3 applications, had made 3 appeals to the CCJ. The written decision would have been handed down, I think, about a couple of weeks now. He was successful in 2 and not successful in one of them. So what that means is that the matters now go back before the Court of Appeal for hearing. Those are what, as lawyers, would refer to as interlocutory applications, meaning they don't deal with the substantive matter. So we are in July 2026. That matter was filed in February. So a year and months later, we still haven't gotten to the substantive. We still haven't gotten to the substantive matter, which is the question of whether the current boundaries are in fact actually unconstitutional. No.
Doesn't he have a case as well regarding the ombudsman?
Yes. So that's what we was speaking to. So he as well has brought a claim in which he is seeking the court to order the government, to direct the government to appoint an ombudsman. But as you asked earlier and you indicated earlier, that process already started with respect to the vacancy, and that is a process which is handled by a committee of the National Assembly, that is the Ombudsman Reports Committee, which comprises both opposition and government members. No?
After the break, we'll introduce you to the BDF's first woman sergeant major. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Are you looking for financing on equipment, machinery, vehicles, parts, or tools for you or your business? Benquip and Belize Bank have partnered to make purchasing easier than ever with Belize Bank's convenient online loan application platform. Simply apply online, get fast and secure financing, and access the equipment or vehicle you need to keep moving forward. Even better, use the promo code when applying and enjoy a special promotional interest rate exclusively for Benquip customers. Whether you're upgrading your fleet, investing in new machinery, or purchasing essential parts and equipment, now is the perfect time to make it happen. Visit Benquip today and ask about Belize Bank online loan financing.
Key Calker Lobster Fest weekend is here. The crowd is ready, the boats are ready, and the energy starts now. Next up, Key Calker. Food, music, crowds, island vibes. Ride with San Pedro Belize Express water taxi for a smooth, reliable trip straight into the heart of Lobster Fest. Book ahead with the app, skip the check-in line, and get to Lobster Fest faster. San Pedro Belize Express water taxi, your official ride to Key Calker Lobster Fest.
Escape to the reigning spa of the year. Belize's premier wellness experience, where award-winning luxury meets pure tranquility. Book now, 20% off spa treatments, 50% off accommodations, only at Naya Resort and Spa.
Nokshe Adventure Park came about from the birth of COVID. Everything was on pause for tourism. So we decided, let's do something different. We got 10 bikes, 10 ATVs, and we were just doing ATV tours. Shortly after, we were approached by the cruise lines. We agreed to work with them, and from then it just started growing. We set up the chocolate tour first, and then from there we went into the culinary experience at the different Mayan cultures. We have like the gift shop, the cooking class, the shaman, and the healing, and it just all came together. When you reach a certain point, you need investors, you need partners to come into your business. Atlantic Bank does make it easy. Even my 7-year-old could do it.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, the Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. From rest to adventure. From nature to culture. From luxury to freedom. Every vacation imaginable, except snow, and we plan to keep it that way. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Electronic invoicing, e-invoicing, is bringing a secure digital upgrade to GST-registered businesses in Belize. Here is how the process works. Your business generates an electronic tax document, ETD, like your everyday invoice or receipt electronically. The ETD is securely transmitted to the Belize Tax Service through Vertex Belize, the national digital platform for e-invoicing. The Belize Tax Service validates it instantly and returns the verified ETD to your business, ready to share with your customer, all in seconds. There are 3 ways to get started. Connect your existing accounting software to Vertex Belize, work with a local or international solution provider, or access the free web-based tool to be provided by the Belize Tax Service. Getting started is flexible. For more information, contact the Belize Tax Service at 613-2508 or email etdinfo@bts.gov.bz. Electronic invoicing, simplifying tax compliance through digital innovation.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Earlier this week, we told you about the elderly man who was murdered in San Lazaro, Orange Walk. Police have arrested and charged 26-year-old Christian Nevel Velasquez for the murder of 68-year-old Virgilio Carrillo. Carrillo was on his way to his farm when he was brutally attacked and chopped to death. 2 years after the brutal stabbing death of 20-year-old Biscayne resident Levon Aldana, His brother-in-law, Arthur Hill, has been convicted of his murder. Hill's 8-day trial before Justice Candice Nanton featured a critical trial within a trial to determine the admissibility of a powerful piece of evidence. Aldana naming Hill as his killer to a police officer with his dying breath. Key testimony also came from a neighbor who placed both men together minutes before the attack, while responding officers observed Hill at the scene in a fresh change of clothes with blood on his elbow. Despite a no-case submission by defense attorney Norman Rodriguez, Justice Nanton ruled the evidence against the accused was overwhelming, finding Hill guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. His sentencing has been scheduled for September 18th, 2026. In 2015, 18-year-old Hilberto Sots was killed in a police custody on Kikauker. At the time, it caused an uproar on the island and led to 2 police constables, Halit King and Leonard Nunez, being charged for murder. That was later downgraded and they were tried for manslaughter. A jury found them guilty in July of 2019 and they were sent to jail to await sentencing. But just 1 month later, they were set free with time served, 1 year and 4 months. The DPP felt that the judge erred and was determined to get them back behind bars. The DPP appealed the decision, but the Court of Appeal overturned the convictions. The matter then went to the CCJ, where the judges reinstated the manslaughter charges and sent it back down. Well, today the Court of Appeal imposed a new sentence for police constables Halit King and Leonard Nunez of 10 years and 2 months, taking into consideration the 10 months that they spent on remand. Yesterday, the Belize Defense Force saw 134 new recruits pass out as intake number 69. Apart from the passing out, there was also the change of command for the Force Sergeant Major. Jaleesa Roberts was there and reports.
The Belize Defense Force celebrated 2 major milestones during a passing out parade at Bryce Barracks yesterday, welcoming 134 new soldiers from recruit intake number 69 and marking a historic change in leadership within its enlisted ranks. After successfully completing 18 weeks of intensive military training, the 134 recruits, including 20 women, officially joined the ranks of the BDF. In his speech, Prime Minister John Bersenio reminded the new soldiers that the uniform represents much more than just a piece of clothing.
As you begin your military careers, remember your greatest strength will not only be your skills, but your character. Uphold the values of loyalty, integrity, discipline, selfless service, and professionalism in everything you do. The Belize Defense Force places great trust in each of you, and I am confident that you will serve with pride and distinction wherever duty calls.
The event also marked a historic first for the BDF as Warrant Officer Class 1 D. Anchor Reyes officially assumed the appointment of Force Sergeant Major, becoming the first woman to hold that position in the BDF's history. She succeeds Warrant Officer Class 1 Wilfredo Mahano. Reyes said the moment was not simply about making history, but about duty, service, and responsibility.
I accept this appointment with a clear understanding of its responsibilities to support your command intent, offer honest advice, uphold discipline and standards, and serve the members and families of the Belize Defense Force. To the Force Sergeant Major Wilfredo Mohano, I respectfully acknowledge your leadership and dedicated service. Thank you for your contribution. As the first woman appointed Force Sergeant Major, I recognize the historic nature of this occasion. I accept with gratitude while remaining focused on the work ahead. This appointment is untimely about duty, service, and responsibility. To every member of the Belize Defense Force, I know that respect is earned Trust is built through consistency, and leadership is demonstrated through action.
For now, 134 recruits now join the ranks to help protect and serve Belize. Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
And while the BDF now has the first woman force sergeant major, who is she? And how did she get to that post? Usually sergeant majors are known to be tough, hard-nosed men. But tonight, we get a glimpse of who she is outside the uniform and the titles. Jaleesa Roberts sat with Warrant Officer Class 1D Anchor Reyes to discuss her achievements.
For more than 2 decades, Warrant Officer Class 1D Anchor Reyes has quietly built a career defined written by discipline and sacrifice. And this week, that journey reached a historic milestone as she officially assumed the role of Force Sergeant Major, becoming the first woman ever to hold this in the Belize Defense Force's highest enlisted appointment. For Reyes, the promotion is more than a personal achievement. It represents the culmination of a lifelong commitment to service.
Most of my family members are either police, Coast Guard, or BDF. So I come from a family that is military. So I joined the volunteer battalion. In 1999, I passed out at Salamanca camp. And I served 4 complete years with the volunteers. And ever since then, I appreciated the military. At that time, I wanted to either be a nurse or a teacher, but I did not have the finance to carry on with my career. So I enlisted into the regular force in September of 2003. And the reason for doing that is because I knew that the Belize Defense Force provides scholarship for soldiers, and you also receive training abroad, and you could, have a career joining the army. Like I wanted, I was sent to the University of Belize to do nursing. In 2005, I graduated. So I was grateful for that I get to accomplish that mission that I always wanted.
A defining moment in Reyes' career came in 2022, when she became the first female Belizean soldier selected to attend the prestigious Sergeant's Major Academy in El Paso, Texas. The intensive leadership program run by the United States Army not only sharpened her military skills, but also resulted in a bachelor's degree in leadership and workforce development. She returned to Belize determined to implement lessons learned abroad while adapting them to the realities of the Belize Defense Force. The qualification ultimately became the deciding factor in her promotion. Attendance at the academy is one of the key prerequisites for the appointment as Force Sergeant Major. As her predecessor prepared for retirement, Reyes had already met every requirement. But more than the title, she expressed her greatest achievement, being a mother of 3 and a wife.
Besides from being a soldier, I am a wife. I'm married to Dr. Elfin Reyes. He's a lieutenant colonel of the Belize Defense Force. He works at the medical center. We have 3 children.
To have all of this ambition and to have a family as well, how were you able to balance that throughout the years?
At first, it was difficult, but it became easy after I got married. And because my husband is in the force as well, it balanced off, because whenever I had to go on any training, which is at least 6 weeks, we leave our family, we go out in the jungle, or we go out district to complete our training, and that time you need to leave your family behind. And I have 2 girls, so when they were pretty young, I still had to do what I needed to do to complete my training so that I could get promoted. So I had to leave them behind, and their dad took on the responsibility and helped out and take care of them during all the time that I've been away. Even when I've been to the United States more than once for over a year, he was there, provided all that help and care for the children.
But how did it feel as a woman to leave your children?
It's hard, it's difficult. Sometimes you would sit down and cry because you got to be out in the jungle and your young child is at home. And of course, sometimes we need to leave them even when we are breastfeeding. So it's even harder then. But I am a strong person. I tell myself, in order for me to complete anything that I'm doing, I need to accept the fact that I need to leave them behind and just pray that everything is okay.
Perhaps the most compelling part of Reyes' story lies not in her military accomplishments, but in where she began. She grew up in St. Martin's, one of Belize City's most economically challenged communities, during a period when gang violence cast a long shadow over daily life. Having overcome this, she has a message for persons who also come from there.
Coming from the St. Martin's, the poorest area, at the time when I was growing up, gang was really serious at that time. There, I could recall vividly in the evening, you couldn't walk the streets because, the guys were out with their gun. So at a certain time, you need to stay in. And then growing up in the St. Martin's area, I see a lot of children who grew up on the street. The things that they saw, they practice. And I said to myself that I won't be one of those people that what I see, I will practice. And I need to get out of it. I want the young people to know that despite where you come from, despite the challenges that you face along the way, that once you tell yourself and believe in yourself, and with God's help, that you want to make a difference, make a change, you want to come out of that environment, you want to be somebody in society, then that's the way to go. Once you have that in your mind, you just push towards that goal and you can accomplish it.
But being the first woman to hold this title in the BDF, one would think she would be anxious about her new post. But Reyes says she was prepared for this.
At this time, I'm excited. I'm not nervous because I've been preparing for this moment. I've been doing the work along the way, so I know what is expected of the 4th Sergeant Major. I've been working closely hand in hand with the 4th Sergeant Major. I've been learning from him. And so knowing the roles and responsibility, I know that I could carry out my duties to the best of my ability. Yes, there will be challenges along the way. As the first female, this is something new to the military. This is something new to the gentlemen in the force. This force have always been run by males in authority, and now that we have a female, I know that I will face some challenges along the way, but I am good otherwise because I know my roles and responsibility and I know how to deal with it.
As she assumes responsibility for the welfare, discipline, and professional standards of Belize's enlisted soldiers, her story stands as a reminder that history is often made not in a single promotion ceremony, but through decades of consistent work towards a dream only she could see. Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
On Friday, while the UDP staged its public protest, the Prime Minister was pictured enjoying an ice cream outing with his granddaughter in Belize City. While many critics interpreted the move as a sign that the Prime Minister was dismissing the opposition's demonstration, Briceño claims otherwise. He maintains that while he is a dedicated grandfather, the turnout at the protest proves that the public is the one still not taking the UDP seriously.
That I'm also a grandfather. I am not only Prime Minister, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, and I have one granddaughter. And for me to be able to spend the afternoon with her and then afterwards take her to the park, well, it was raining, so we went to Moose where there's a playground in there and spend an hour and a half with my granddaughter. That is the joy of life.
The UDP has their messaging seriously and their calls seriously and the protest seriously.
I think what they need to worry is that the people are not taking them serious because we had a National Party Council meeting on the Saturday before. And we had more people in Dangriga for a meeting than what they managed to bring, and they had buses all over the country.
On Friday, the UDP indicated that when the audit is over, that they expect to see more ministers, quote-unquote, go on leave. How do you feel about that?
That's speculation.
And the Prime Minister is also standing by the Social Security Board's decision to invest $20 million in Hydro Belize Limited, insisting the move is both secure and financially sound. Under the proposal, the SSB would purchase almost 700,000 shares at $29 apiece. The PM says the investment will provide stable long-term returns while strengthening the fund's portfolio.
I think it's a good investment. As you all know, Social Security, the last time I checked, had over $100+ million, and they need to put that money to work. If they can't invest that money, by 2030, they will have to raise contributions. And they look for solid investments that would bring at the minimum a 5% rate of return. Unfortunately, BTL is nowhere near that, and we have to try to find ways how we can fix that. But with Hydro Belize, from the prospectus, they're saying that they expect 10% or probably as much as 12% dividends on a yearly basis. So it is a good investment, and it's an investment that we support.
We'll take a break now, but when we return, we'll speak with a High Court Justice about the critical gaps in the law when dealing with cases of sexual violence against children. Do stay with us.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
If you're tired of the baking in your house with the only cook wawa fan and finally realize that the time to get yourself a good, durable, reliable fan, contact Maya's panel website or social media. Maya's going to hook you up with one of their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan where might could even change your life as they keep you cool in this hot Belizean weather. Yes man, because their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Maya's not just could blow your lip back way, they might could blow away your mind if you say blow away the toxic konomono out of your life and the bad vibes out of your house. Order your 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Maya's website or on their social media, and Maya's going to ship out your fan anywhere countrywide ASAP. Not believe me? Visit mayaselectronics.bz right now to order your fan today.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, the Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. From rest to adventure. From nature to culture. From luxury to freedom. Every vacation imaginable, except snow, and we plan to keep it that way. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
The success of my business means a lot to my family, especially my brother, because I'm continuing his legacy, making butterfly art collages. It was very hard for me to receive payments. I had to go directly to meet the person I'm purchasing from and who I'm selling to receive payment. Because I opened my business account with Atlantic Bank, now I can make and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7. Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
If you're tired of the baking in your house with the only cook go wawa fan and finally realize that the time to get yourself a good, durable, reliable fan, contact Maya's panel website or social media. Maya's going to hook you up with one of their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan where might could even change your life as it keep you cool in this hot Belizean weather. Yes man, because their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Maya's not just could blow your lip back way, they might could blow away your mind if you say blow away the toxic konomono out of your life and the bad vibes out of your house. Order your 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Maya's website or on their social media, and Maya's going to ship out your fan anywhere countrywide ASAP. Not believe me? Visit mayaselectronics.bz right now to order your fan today.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Today officially marked the launch of the Child Protection and Child Justice Steering Committee, a unified national body aimed at strengthening coordination between child protection services and the justice system to better safeguard children from violence, abuse, neglect, and exploitation. The committee brings together government ministries, the National Commission for Families and Children, the Office of the Special Envoy, UNICEF, and other key stakeholders to oversee critical reforms and implement a comprehensive 5-year action plan. The Attorney General commended the collaborative effort behind the initiative.
What has been done is that through the auspices of the National Commission for Families and Children, there were two committees that addressed it. You had a Child Justice Committee and you had a Child Protection Committee. They were bifurcated. So experience has shown over time that it's best to have a collaborative effort, and so you have stakeholders from various agencies, whether it be law enforcement, whether it be the court, whether it be in social service, all coming together to address the issue of child protection and child justice. There are various areas that they will be targeting, and one of the things that they'll be doing is that they're providing to the government certain recommendations with respect to policies that need to be revamped, that need to be tweaked, and a part of the membership on this committee includes the Attorney General's Ministry, and so that helps in terms of ensuring that in a more timely manner we'll be able to have legislation which touch and concern families and children.
But the newly established committee faces deep structural gaps within the justice system, particularly concerning juvenile cases. Board Chairperson High Court Justice Natalie Creary-Dixon noted that far too often young victims of sexual violence are left without proper support systems as they navigate the legal process.
We are looking towards a trauma-centered, victim-centered approach. So we are looking at ensuring that all children in Belize, the heart and the rights of children in Belize are protected. This was a response to an assessment which exposed critical gaps in the child protection system. So what we sought to do was to integrate the Child Services Center, Social Services Center, and the judiciary. A child who goes to court, therefore, will see a less intimidating process. They will see that their needs are met. It's a child-centered, victim-centered trauma approach that we are moving all across Belize. We're ensuring that the rights of children are at the heart. It is at the heart and center of every decision made involving children.
What have you observed from the High Court level that are some challenges when it comes to justice with children?
First of all, we have to overcome some cultural barriers because we find, for example, in sexual offenses cases, unfortunately, children are not supported by their very family members. So you find that it is very difficult to even get them to a stage where they are prepared to give evidence in court. What we have had to do, what becomes very critical at this stage, would be social workers who can work with them, get them to a stage where they can give information, they are prepared to participate in court proceedings, and they have reported it first of all, because they are not supported by family members. We have that hurdle to overcome. So there is the cultural difficulty that we have to overcome. Then there are persons who believe it is a rite of passage to be sexually abused, unfortunately. And so they are not encouraged to report these matters, and we don't get their full support. We also have a difficulty with their scarce resources. There are scarce resources. And so you find that even a child who comes to court ought rightly to be coming with a social worker, a community rehabilitation officer, but because there aren't enough such persons, then you find that the child comes to court alone, the child is not supported. The child ought to be counseled after a traumatic incident. That does not always happen.
A few weeks ago, we reported on the construction of a brand new volleyball court at the YMCA headquarters on Fobbers Road. The facility was completed just in time for the launch of the organization's annual summer program, and today we went back to visit as the summer festivities officially wrapped up. Jo Marie Lanza has the story.
Though it's the end of the YMCA summer program, these kids are still bubbling with energy, having spent the last 3 weeks learning how to play different sports and even trying their hand at coding. The camp's director explained what the coding curriculum looked like over the past week.
What YMCA has done this year, last year we started using Scratch for the summer program, but we've really been doing Scratch since 1920. And then we got an opportunity to send 5 of our youths to the coding program, the robotics program that Minister Musa had, and they were impressive. So we knew there and then that we had to offer it to the broader base of children who had done the Scratch here, the Scratch coding. We got volunteers, we introduced the coding aspect, especially to those who have done Scratch. We have children from age 7 to 12. The 7 and 8-year-olds did the Scratch program where they developed their own games, they developed their own stories. The older kids started doing the robotics. So it was a huge improvement, a huge investment. I thank all the donors that we have, and we have several.
30 kids signed up for the program, and they were divided off into groups of 12. So they all got a chance to learn a new sport and a skill.
All children are taught coding. All children are taught basketball, and all children are taught volleyball. So we train our volunteers. All the volunteers, they just sign up and we decide. And one thing I've learned this year, we did have some volunteers who prefer to do coding because they have experience. We've already told them, so that they be an example for our kids, they have to also do an hour of sports.
We also spoke with the kids about what they learned and what they enjoyed the most about the camp.
My experience was fun, enjoyable, and I definitely learned a lot from it. My favorite was coding and volleyball, but coding was so fun. I learned how to make games, stories, and other activities that I can learn from in the future.
I enjoyed playing basketball, doing volleyball, and coding.
My experience is fun, excited.
What did you enjoy at the camp?
Basketball and volleyball.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
Yesterday, we took you inside the newly inaugurated One Health Education Lab operating under the Belize Wildlife Referral Clinic. While the facility is gearing up to host critical public workshops on wildlife conservation, the clinic itself is currently navigating one of its busiest seasons of the year. Medical staff are presently treating more than a dozen animals on site, and the director explained how some of these latest patients came to be in their care.
So I actually have to look at the files to give you a complete head count right now. We are slightly under 50 patients in care right now. So it is baby season. It's very busy. We have round about 15 coatis, a few squirrels, some opossums, some foxes, some cats, some turtles, and what you just saw coming through was actually a turtle that was just brought in, and we're going to see it as soon as we're done here because she was hit by a vehicle. And then we have a snake, we have a crocodile, we have some birds, we have a lot of mostly orphans, but also some injured animals in care right now.
Last night on Uncut, recently deported Belizean artist Daniel Loverboy Cacho gave his first interview since being repatriated after serving time in a U.S. federal prison for robbery and other offenses. While the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency previously labeled him among the worst of the worst, Cacho is now launching a local comeback and says he fully accepts responsibility for his convictions.
If you talk about the crime, you know I didn't get away with a crime. You do realize I went to prison. You do realize I pled guilty. I accepted responsibility. We could go into that or not, but the fact is I did my time, and I do understand that consequences go beyond prison time. And whatever that means for me, I'm here to accept it. I know lazy, I ready and willing to do the work. I miss my people there, yeah.
But
yes,
the
sir.
issue is that you at your peak with Tornado, you were a popular artist with children.
Yes.
Kids love that song, they perform it at a school play.
Yes.
So how can the community trust you again when they have this nagging perception that Loverboy is sketchy, that he has a sketchy reputation when it comes to minors, because he's been accused, found innocent, but accused of sexual assault on a minor. How can you bridge that?
So there's parts of that I can't control because you speak about perception, right? Like if I sit down here and answer about rumors and stuff like that, I could hear all night. Like I said, all I have in my corner is the facts, and wherever the chips may land, that are the chips that fall. You understand what I mean?
While he didn't walk off the set, the emotional interview did bring the artist to tears. The full episode re-airs tonight at 8 right here on Channel 7. In 2021, proposals were drafted to refurbish the Stank Creek IT vet in a strategic push to upgrade the school's infrastructure, boost enrollment, and increase graduation rates. Today, following a $1.4 million investment and nearly 5 years of development, the institution is fully functional once again, thanks to a project made possible by the Social Investment Fund in partnership with the Caribbean Development Bank. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held earlier today to mark the milestone, and here are the highlights from that event.
We have come a long way, I have to say that. And before I even go further in explaining how we start, I have to give gratitude. Gratitude is a must to our area representative, Dr. Louis Zabani, to the Ministry of Education, Government of Belize, and of course SIF and CDB. This project started almost 4 years ago. It has been a whirlwind, but we are here and we're thankful for all that we have gotten that will be transforming the lives of the persons who live in the South. We got a total refurbishment. The leaky roofs, the computer lab, the kitchen, everything was refurbished, and it was much needed because now we could better serve our trainees starting all the way from Bay Vista and maybe even further south. Persons who will be coming here to get trained, to get their skills, because we do go by our motor skills-based bills.
We found this place quite in need, where we had very low enrollment, very little attention being paid to the needs of this area of the South. And fortunately, we were able to put together a very good team with our chairman and the manager and all the staff that have been employed here to serve our people. So from a low of less than 50 students, we've had graduations of over 200 in recent years, and I've just been told that the applications are quite high for this coming year. So we are really, really pleased that the investment, $1.4 million that has been made here, makes a big difference. We see from the tour that now all the classrooms, the offices, the laboratories now are in good condition. One of the big problems with leaky roofs has been addressed, and so these things will go a long way to ensure that we can do a good job at serving our community, and in particular the students who are going to be coming here for this very important training in technical and vocational education.
How many ministers and ministers of state does it take to give away some lawn mowers? Well, today in Belmopan, it took 7 of them and 1 CEO to hand over several pieces of lawn equipment. The donation was from the Ministry of Rural Transformation. So, of course, Oscar Kenya and Valentino Shal were present and spoke at the podium, but also did Alex Balona, Marconi Leal, Michelle Shabat, Osman Martinez from Cervantes, and Rodwell Ferguson. The ministers today explained that these representatives were necessary since 14 communities would be benefiting from the donation.
Today, we have 6 representatives who are here, and we have village chairpersons who represent their community. And there are various contributions, donations that these communities are going to be getting. It ranges from weed eaters, driving mowers, chairs and tables. And this is what we do. We do it because, as the various speakers said, we believe in empowering our people. We believe in supporting you. And as Mr. Rodwell said, every year we get a budget assigned to us. And we meticulously look at that budget and look at how we can, as much as possible, equitably share the resources across this country. And that is why, as was said earlier, we have representation from Toledo, from Cayo, from the Belize District, and from up north. That's what we do.
And finally, tonight, we note the passing of respected educator and former Ministry of Education Chief Executive Officer Dr. Dorian Barrow, who died at the age of 74. A distinguished academic and public servant, Dr. Barrow dedicated decades of his life to advancing education in Belize, serving in senior leadership roles at the Ministry of Education, the University of Belize, and most recently at Galen University, where he championed STEM, robotics, and artificial intelligence. Tributes continue to pour in from across the country, with colleagues, former students, and national leaders remembering him as a visionary educator whose contributions helped shape Belize's education system for generations. And that's all we have for you for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indra Craig. Remember, you can access a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook or YouTube pages. Have a great night. Join Miriam Abdul-Kawi here tomorrow, and I'll be seeing you back on